Hello and welcome to Party in a Paint Box. Today we're painting this pair of flip-flops or thongs on the beach. Now of course the first thing we need to do is sketch the outline of our artwork so we know where to put all of our paint. So you can use the stencil that comes with your pack and video, or of course you are welcome to freehand sketch this along with our artist as we draw it here now. For our first step, we're going to add in the sky. And we're going to start with a pastel blue and a light blue. So both of these are a combination of white and a dash of blue. So our pastel blue has a much smaller dash of blue than the light blue. So use your flat brush to paint the sky in horizontal brush strokes. Start with the pastel blue on the left side, bringing it through to some of the right side, and then add that light blue through the middle onto the right side. Now the light blue nicely contrasts against that lovely pastel blue, so we've got some variation in the sky. And notice we layer these over each other as well to create a bit of texture in the sky. Next, we're going to add in some medium blue for the top half of our water. And we start by drawing in this horizon line with our medium blue. Now medium blue again is a combination of blue and white. However, this time we'll start with our blue and add just a very small amount of white through it just to lighten that plain blue a little bit and give it a bit more brightness as well. Now you can see here we're using a larger round brush. You can use your round brush or your flat brush on its side to create this same effect. And notice instead of just using really long, thick brush strokes, we're actually using much thinner brush strokes to create the impression of moving water. So we're adding these over in patches. Next, we're going to add the bottom section of the water. So we're introducing a medium turquoise here. So turquoise with just a little bit of white through it, again, just to brighten and lighten. So we're still using the flat brush on its side, or the round brush. And as we add in these brush strokes on the left side, we're going to add just a little bit of extra white into the mix. So on the left side, we can make it just a little bit brighter and create a very subtle contrast in those two colors. And add just a few brush strokes of your medium turquoise over some of the blue, as you can see we're doing right here as well. And this helps to just create a more natural movement from the blue into the turquoise. Then we're going to mix together a light bright green. So to make a bright green, start with some yellow and add a dash of turquoise through it. And then to lighten that, start with some white and then add a dash of that bright green into it. And we're just using this again in the same way, the same kind of brush strokes that we've been using to add a highlight in the water as well. And then we're going to take some white on the round brush to create some foam on the water while our colors are still quite wet. So we're just dabbing it all around where we've added our light bright green and a little bit on the background of the water as well. And this creates that foamy impression of moving water. So again, we're just building that impression of movement. Now you'll notice as well, because you've got a lot of wet paint that you're painting over, the white is going to blend into it in sections as well. This is what we want. Don't shy away from it. Let it create those sort of pastel versions of the greens and the blues there. Next, we're adding in our sand. Now, our sand actually has a lot of colors through it, so I'm going to quickly run you through all of the different colors. These are also laid out in your instructions, and then we're going to layer them together. So we start with orange, yellow with a dash of pink. Then we create our brown base, which is orange, with a very, very small dash of blue mixed through it. You should just instantly get this lovely brown color. Now for our medium sand color, we're starting with a bit of white, adding a dash of yellow, and then we're adding back in some of our brown base. Our light sand color is white with a dash of medium sand color through it. Our light beige is white with just a dash of brown base. And our light peach is white plus a dash of orange. And optional, add a dash more pink through it to adjust to more of a peach color if it looks too orange. So now we'll build these in. So use your light peach to add the line of sand that meets the water. Then use the light sand color next to this one, blending at the seam of the two wet colors to create a nice soft gradient between them. Then add your light sand towards the bottom right side of the canvas and then add some more peach over here as well. And then use your medium sand at the bottom left of the canvas and around the flip-flops as well. And then use your light beige to fill in the remaining white areas and add some highlights over the other patches. So essentially what you're doing is you're building texture over your sand so it looks like there's actually been some movement through the sand and it's not just a plain flat one color. Next, we're going to mix up some colors for our flip-flops. Now, you can make yours a different color if you would like. We're making ours a sort of peachy pinky color. So for our medium peach, we're going to start with that orange we made. We're going to add a dash more pink through and just add a dash of white just to soften that a bit. For our medium pink peach, we're going to add a dash more pink into some of this medium peach we've created. We only want this just a little bit darker to create a bit of a contrast. Then we're going to make a mauve, which is our medium peach with just a small dash of turquoise. You can add a little bit more pink through it as well, but we're starting with the peach so that we can control that balance. And then our pastel mauve is just white with a small dash of our mauve mixed through it. So use your medium peach to fill in the flip-flops. Now you can use either brush here, it doesn't really matter. And make sure you're following the curves of these as you paint them. It just helps create the impression of a more realistic object if we follow the shape of it as we paint it. And then use your medium pink peach, that slightly darker one, to add a bit of shadowing over the top curve, so just where the toes and just down the top of the sides of the flip-flops. Then take some of your mauve on the tip of your round brush and we're going to add a series of horizontal dashes stacked down each of our flip-flops, and then we'll add an outline to each one. Then we're going to use our pastel mauve to add a highlight dash on the left side of the top few dashes we've created. Easy peasy so far. Okay, now we're going to really add some shape to these. So still using the pastel mauve on the tip of your round brush, add in that toe grip and make sure you don't add it right at the top of the shoe. You've got to add enough space so that you could actually fit toes into the shoe. And then we're going to add the straps in the same color. And once you've added the straps in, you can use some white on the tip of your brush to just add some gentle highlights over these straps. Again, we're just building texture. We're trying to make them look a bit more 3D and realistic. Then we're going to return to our pastel mauve and add a highlight over the left side of the shoe outlines. So here we're starting to try to make the rest of the shoe look more 3D. Now we'll mix a maroon on our palette. So start with some red and just add in a small dash of black to darken it. And you can use your maroon on the tip of your round brush to add in some shadowing on the right sides of the shoe. So on the outline, and then add a dash at the toe grip and the intersection of the straps. And essentially, we're just adding the shadowing anywhere you would expect to find a natural shadow. And as we do this, we're starting to create some distinction between the different layers of the shoe. And in doing so, we're making it look more 3D. So you can see they're really starting to stand out as we start building this in now. Now we're going to mix up some more sand colors to add some more texture to our sand. So we want a mauve brown to start. So we're going to start with our mauve and add just a dash of our brown base in. And then we're going to create an orange brown. So start with our orange and add a dash of our brown base. So we'll start by dashing our mauve brown with the round brush around the flip-flops towards the back of them to create a shadow, like they're casting a shadow on the sand. And then you can take some of your beige that you created earlier and add some to the sand at the front of the flip-flop. So now we've got a bit of a highlight and we've got a bit of a shadow. So again, we're building that 3D impression. Then we're going to take our orange brown on the round brush and add some more texture to the sand, and we're adding this more all around. So we're adding a few patches just all around towards the front, and we're also adding it quite distinctly along the shoreline to really distinguish it from the water. Take some white on your round brush and start adding in some clouds in the sky. We don't need this to be too perfect. We're just creating some really rough clouds on the right side of the sky. So notice we're just dashing it really roughly. We're not creating perfect fluffy cloud shapes or anything like that. Next, dip your round brush into your white paint and hold it quite close over the foamy patches of the water you created earlier. Pull the bristles back with your thumb and let these tiny dots of paint flick over the water. Now we're holding it quite close to the canvas because we want to be really pointed in where we're placing these dots. Even though they will just splatter, we want to be careful that it's mostly over the water because we don't want to get it absolutely everywhere. And then, still using the white on your round brush, add some final highlights of white on your sand. And there you go, you've created this beautiful, bright beach artwork. Thank you so much for painting with us here at Party in a Paint Box. And until next time, bye!